So today we're going to do something a little bit different. We're not going to be doing tarot. We're going to be doing an ancestral healing ritual that can be very helpful if you feel like you have blockages in your life or you're carrying a lot of stress. And it's just overall a good thing to do, to shed, all of what your predecessors, I think you'd call them, but ancestors basically had to go through, because we do carry these things literally in our genes. So your Uncle John's problem 100 years ago could still be affecting you. Your mother's problems could still be affecting you, because we all know that when your mom is carrying you, you literally merge with her nervous system. So it's always good to shed those kind of stuff. So I want to show you a way that I did it. You can try this way and let me know. So the only thing you're gonna need is like a bowl. I hope you can see. A bowl with water. I don't have water in this now because I'm just showing you guys. I'm trying to do it quickly because I made this little contraption so my light can stay on. And then you're gonna need salt. You're also gonna need 2 tarot cards, one the 4 of Pentacles and the other one the 10 of Wands. And then you're gonna need paper. You can use regular petition paper or a paper bag or parchment paper or regular paper. It really doesn't matter. It's just your intention and how serious you are with it. So the first thing is you'd have this bowl filled with water, right? So the water is gonna be in it, and it's gonna represent not just your tears, baggage and pain, etc., but also your ancestors. So when you have the water in, first cleanse everything, for sure. Cleanse it with Palo Santo. If you have cleansing spray, if you have Florida water, whatever it is. So I would just start by praying over the bowl, setting your intention. So you would just close your eyes, kind of get in a certain vibration, and you're gonna insist that this bowl is carrying years and years of pain, baggage, tears, blockages that you do not want in your lineage. I'd also propose that it's best to do this before you procreate, so you won't have anything passing on to your kids. But it's fine if you already have kids and you want to do it, because it's never too late. So this bowl is a representative of the pain, the baggage, the blockages, the trauma, the curses, and things that you do not want to carry, the things that are not yours to carry. And then we have the salt. So the water would be in the bowl, and then so as you're pouring the salt in, you'll say, all right, this salt, I'm going to instruct this salt to be representing my tears, my ancestors' tears, same thing. So the salt water is basically a representative of you shedding your tears. All right, so when you have the water and the salt mixture, sit with it for like at least a minute or a couple seconds. You're gonna speak from your heart. You're gonna speak to them like they're actual people standing in front of you. When I was doing it, I would say stuff like, I always start with, "Can you hear me?" Give it a little minute or so to just imagine yourself surrounded by them or lined up in front of you. And then I would say, just as if you would be talking to your mom, your aunt, your sister, and I would say something like, this is representing what I no longer want to carry, what I do not need to carry, what's not my baggage, and I want you to take it, right? So you're gonna place it forward and ask them to take it. And then now you're gonna write on your paper. So this is where you're gonna get detailed. You're gonna write, I start with, you know, I honor you guys, I respect you, I love you, blah, blah, blah. But here's what I'm giving back to you. I don't want to carry this anymore, and I don't want to see any of these things in my lineage or whoever I bring forth next. So if you have you have to get detailed and you have to get deep. So if you have a reoccurring theme of broken homes, fathers leaving, fathers dying before getting to actually spend time with their children. If you have a reoccurring theme of, I'm not sure if I can speak about this on YouTube, but any kind of abuse in the home, if you have a recurring theme of heart problems, you're going to say, this is where I leave it. You write it down, be very specific. If you have a recurring theme of people never finishing college, people never getting to actually go to college, you're going to write it down. And again, write from the heart. Don't rush when you're writing it. Write it as slow as possible, because there might be other stuff that you don't even realize that you're forgetting. So when you get finished doing that, this is where the cards come in. So all of these are going to go on your altar. If you don't have an altar, just set it aside on a table or a counter for, I would say, for a day. So when you have everything set aside, the Four of Pentacles is representing things that you're clutching or holding on to, whether it's unknowingly or knowingly. You're gonna flip it, and you're gonna tell them you're flipping it because you're showing them that you want to release it. And then you put it under the bowl, and then the Ten of Wands is gonna represent the burdens, their burdens that you carry, and even your own burdens that you're making for yourself. You don't want to pass it on, and you're gonna put it in the reverse, and then you put it under the ceramic bowl. This is especially important for children who resonate with water goddesses, children of the water, stuff like that. But you can do it whether or not you resonate with that. So now you're gonna sit and meditate on what you just released. You can cry if you want to, that's even better. After this, what you're gonna do, you're gonna email yourself, or you're gonna write it, whichever you prefer. Write to yourself everything that has changed now that you've rid yourself of all of that baggage. Remember now, it's like centuries of trauma, hurt, pain, things that you feel like you can't escape. So you need to write it as if you've already done it, because you've already set aside the tears and whatever. So in my letter, I know I wanted to, I know I used the example of feeling like a privileged white suburban kid. So let me explain why. Alright, so if you are Caucasian, typically you'd have, in your lineage, you'd have more of a sense of freedom, right? As opposed to somebody who's black, you would have like hundreds and hundreds of years of being enslaved. So it's just an example. I don't actually want to, just to clear that up, I don't actually want to be Caucasian. I like being black, but it's the energy of generational freedom. So you get what I mean? So you feel light. So that specific example would be somebody who was brought up where they had access to certain things. So imagine how you would feel if you were someone who had access to certain things. if you had access to people who would support you in the right way, if you had access to friends who supported you and never betrayed you, and this was a long line of experiencing these things. So that's why I use that example, which is funny. But yeah, you can use any example, whatever in your mind is a perfect example of the freedom. Use that example. So you would say, know that I've released so and so. I feel so and so. I've started exercising, for example. I've started I've started telling my child I love them more. I've started putting the phone down when I'm engaging with my children. I've started whatever it is, whatever kind of problems you have in your family that you don't want to bring forward, and also, yeah, you get the point. Am I missing anything else? I just had a thought and I forgot it. Yeah, so after that, I would just put thank you. I'm grateful, and that's really it. I would like for you guys to write in the comments. I don't want you, I wouldn't ask you to write what trauma. That's if you would like to share, but I would ask you guys to write in the comments. Yeah, now that I've laid this down, you can start by saying that. Now that I've laid down these burdens that are not mine to carry, I feel so and so. So you can share that. Alright, so I also wanted to point out that if this resonates with you, if you feel called to do this, it's probably because a lot of you have a recurring theme in your life where the mothers have to work a lot of time outside of the home. Like, she doesn't get a lot of time with her kids. Also addictions. If you have a long line of addictions in your lineage. Yeah, and then so that's it. And then afterwards, you can just have like, you can just wash yourself with salt when you're bathing. But make sure not to sit in a bath of salt water. You want to throw it on you and just pour the salt, rub yourself down, and rid yourself. And then after you do it, you make up your mind and say, that's it. It's done, finished, no more trouble. You don't have to worry about that anymore. You don't have to worry about kids enduring certain things like that anymore. So I hope you guys try it. Let me know if you try it in the comments, and don't forget to comment. Now that I've gotten rid of so and so, I feel all right.